Hello, happy Tuesday, the day before Christmas 2024. Very special message coming through right now. And I just wanted to hit record and start chatting with you because usually it takes like a little bit of time to warm up, and then Spirit will come through very clearly with a very specific, potent, and activating message for whoever needs to hear this. What's been bubbling up right now as I get full body chills is that God has not allowed you to be comfortable for a reason. All of the trials and tribulations that you've gone through the last several years or even decades of your life has been preparing you and priming you for where you are at right now. And at the time of this recording, we are at the end of December 2024. This is a timeless message, but it is also very timely because 2025 is going to be the year that you fully shift into owning your power and stepping into leadership. And so everything that was meant to break you over the course of the last several years or decades has been priming you and preparing you and helping you cultivate a level of inner resiliency and strength. You had to see your own strength. You had to see the power that lies within you. You had to be comfortable with the intensity and the energy that you bring. And you may have seen this play out recently in your experience, especially this past year, where your shadow has been illuminated yet again. And this time it was really to help you step more fully into your power. So what do I mean by that? Your level of strength, your level of power, your level of resiliency, your ability to see with true spiritual vision where things are rooted in fear or lack or scarcity or greed or manipulation has been cultivated. And this is not by accident. You have prayed for this. You have prayed for spiritual vision. You have prayed for alignment with truth. You have prayed to be a vessel of God's will. You have been anointed on this path, and it's led to a lot of trials and tribulations that have fine-tuned your ability to stand in your power and in your strength despite what's happening around you. So you have cultivated the ability to stand in your truth and your authenticity and speak up and use your voice, and you anchored in your truth, anchored in your integrity, anchored in your authenticity. When you see situations that are not serving the highest level, highest good, God has been placing you in situations for you to shine a light on the darkness because you are a walking, talking catalyst. You are a walking, talking alchemizer. So God has placed you in situations, circumstances, groups of people, organizations, whatever the case may be for you, to shine a light on the shadows where people are rooted in fear or scarcity or lack or manipulation or fear-based consciousness or separation. And this isn't like you having to like shout it from the rooftops or anything like that. You've been placed in situations to use your voice. You are a truth teller, and you've been cultivating the ability to confidently show up and speak truth despite what anybody else has to say about it, despite what authority figures have to say about it, despite when it rocks the boat or rocks the status quo, because it's going to, because you are a truth teller and you are here to lead a new paradigm. You're not here to buy into old, outdated ways of being. You're here to rock the boat. You're here to shine a light. You're here to be a walking, talking catalyst for others. And you just do this by your presence. You do this by following your truth. You do this by not bending to others' egoic will and compromising your values. You do this by elevating your standards, anchored in truth and love and service. You do this by calling a spade, even when it rocks the boat or ruffles feathers, which it will, like I said. So you've been cultivating the audacity and the power and the strength and the resilience within in order to stand in this power and not cower. You have been cultivating the ability to see your own strength and power, because for a long time you dimmed your strength, you dimmed your power, you dimmed your light, you dimmed this intensity, you hid from opportunities to shine this light, because it is not something that is going to be accepted by all. It is actually very polarizing and will be rejected by many. And you have overcome and healed anything within you that needs to have that external validation or approval, right? Like, you are at the stage of this journey where you literally don't give an F what anybody else has to say about what you're being guided to share. And you're willing to call a spade a spade. You're willing to rock the boat. You're willing to ruffle feathers when necessary. And you don't even have to try to do this. That's the thing. It's not like you're shouting this from the rooftops or anything. God is placing you in situations that call for light, where you can shine a light on the shadows. And you do this through your authenticity, through integrity with your values, your soul core truth. You do this by elevating your standards and not wavering. You do this by having healthy discernment around what is in the highest, greatest good and what is not, and being willing to call a spade when it's not. So you are guided through your actions, your words, and your deeds to shine this light. And oftentimes it's just with the presence of your energy and the frequency that you bring. Sorry, I was getting a call. It's just with your presence. Your presence is activating. Your presence is a catalyst. You are, again, a truth teller. So you're not here to fit in. You're here to speak truth. And that's going to be polarizing, which means the people with the eyes to see and the ears to hear and the heart that's open to receive the messages that you're sharing, that are within vibrational frequency of that, are going to be magnetized to you. And there's going to be people that are simultaneously repelled by it, because by you fully shining and standing in your light and in your truth, and being willing to call a spade, and being fully authentic and embodied in your divinity, and knowing who you are, and not wavering in that, you're shining a light on all the places where they are not operating from their truth, or where they are operating from a false mask, or where they are compromising their values in order to fit in, or where they are giving their power away, or they have built something that's rooted in falsehood, and they don't want to see that. They have to be willing to look at their own shadows and what they've created and what's been rooted in falsehood and fear and untruth. And it's a very sobering place to be when you start to realize that you've created your life around a false mask, and that you haven't been living your truth, and that you're out of alignment with what your soul really truly desires. And so some of these people are going to be very, very triggered by your message, and others are going to be very, very activated and illuminated from within by your message, and both are medicine. Both are medicine. And what you've been cultivating over the years and decades of going through everything that you've grown through and evolved and alchemized, is the resiliency within, and the strength within, and the power within that you've always had, but now you're fully anchored in it, to where you can show up and lead and be unbothered and bulletproof by the naysayers and by the people that are going to have opinions and projections onto you about whatever it is that you're sharing. You're bulletproof because you're anchored in your divinity. You and God are one. You are not doing this alone, and you know that. You've been completely guided, supported, and protected on this journey through all of it, through all of the highs and all the lows and everything in between. All the trials and tribulations that you have experienced have been priming you for your rise into this new earth, into new earth frequency, into leading this paradigm. And you chose to be here. Your soul contracted to be here to do this at this particular moment in time, which is happening now. Your soul agreed to come to this earthly experience during this time of mass awakening, where humanity is going to be waking up to higher states of consciousness. And Simultaneously, there's going to be a split where there are souls that agreed to be here on planet Earth during this great awakening that have not agreed to the ascension timeline. And they are going to want to be playing around in the muck a little bit more, and in the shadows and in the illusions and in the fears and all of this. And that is fine too. There is no judgment here. You will be seeing that, and you will see that, and your job is to stay anchored in the truth. You're here to be a light and lead by your example. You're here to be what I always refer to with my clients as the lighthouse effect, which is where you shine in truth. I'm getting full body chills right now. You shine in truth, you shine in your light. You become the light that shines in the darkness so that others can find their way. When they begin to wake up and they're craving truth on a soul level, and their soul has agreed to wake up, they're going to be waking up from a slumber, waking up from a darkness, so to speak. That's what it's going to feel like, even though in truth, nobody is asleep. We're all awake, just pretending to be asleep. Really, when you wake up, you just wake up to the fact that you've never actually been asleep. So it's very paradoxical, but that's another video. As these souls begin to remember who they truly are, they're going to be ready to hear the message that you're sharing, the truth that you're telling. They're going to be in vibrational frequency with ears to hear, or eyes to see, or a heart to be open enough to receive what's coming through. And they will be magnetized in. This is the lighthouse effect. The people that you're here to serve with your medicine, with your message, with your truth, is going to be magnetized in. And those that are not are going to be repelled. That's the thing about magnetism. You also are equally repelling those that are not here to fully integrate what it is that you're sharing. And that's medicine for them too, because the triggering is part of the journey. And you can probably relate to this. There's been phases of your journey where you have been triggered like no other, and that has been part of your evolution. That has been part of your ascension, right? And so you have to be able to remember that. That's the message that's coming through right now. You have to be able to remember that. You are moving into a phase of the journey that the resilience and the strength and the power within that you have cultivated is now being called upon, so that you can move forward unbothered and bulletproof in your mission and what you're here to share and the truth that you're here to tell. You will face naysayers. You will face people that want you to conform to the old ways. You will face resistance, and you're not here to fight the resistance. It's not your resistance. It's not your resistance to claim. It's not your resistance to embody, but people will be bouncing off of your energetic field, and those that will be here, like I said, to integrate it will be magnetized in, and others will be resisting it and triggered, and will have, comments to say and this and that, and they may not be nice or loving comments and this and that, and that's okay. You're not here to judge where they're at on their journey. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. You're here to stay anchored in your truth and share the message that's on your heart and what wants to come through. You're divinely guided and protected on this journey, and God is placing you in situations, circumstance, environments, organizations, communities, and all the things where your light is needed. Your job is to stay anchored in your truth. And this is what you've been cultivating for so long. You've been prepared for this very phase of the journey. You've asked for this. You've consciously and unconsciously asked for this. You've prayed for this. Your soul came for this. You've contracted for this. And 2025 is just the tip of the iceberg, where you're going to be really called into leadership, and you're going to be asked to shine a light on any place where you are playing small, or where you are buying into any old programming. So that's all fizzling out of your experience. It's all fizzling out of your experience. And you are not new to this. You got here because you are not afraid to shine a light on your shadow. You are not afraid to shine a light on what others have deemed in you to be unacceptable, right? And so let me explain this. For many of you, and this is going to be a very specific message for those that resonate, it's not going to be for everyone. You have a level of power and intensity and magnetism that is part of your purpose in order to be the leader that you came here to be. And many have projected onto you that this power, this intensity, this strength within, this resilience within, this ability to be authentic. You may have been called too much. You may have been called too intense. You may have been told you were too bold. You may have been told you were too, stubborn and this and that. All of these quote unquote shadow qualities that other people have projected onto you and tried to get you to, be a more digestible version of yourself for their comfort, because they are recognizing in you the leadership qualities and the strength and the power that you hold, where they are rejecting that within themselves. You have been able to look at this and cultivate and alchemize these shadows within. So where you have been called too much or too intense or too, stubborn or too powerful or too assertive or whatever the case may be, these have all now been alchemized for good. You've been able to look at your shadow, alchemize it, and extract the gold for what it is. So all of these things that you have been shamed for, that you have been yourself hiding from to some degree in the past years or decades, hiding from this inner strength and power and intensity and assertiveness and leadership qualities, these have all been alchemized to use for good. And it's been a process of, yes, inner alchemy, and a process of you fully coming into acceptance of these and seeing that these qualities are not something to be shamed. These are actually part of your divine purpose and your dharma. These are gifted, God-gifted qualities within you that you are here to embrace moving forward into this next phase of your journey. And everyone that showed up to you and projected onto you that these qualities were less than or poor qualities or something that you should avoid or be shamed about, feel shameful about, they were all part of the plan too. They were all part of the plan to shine a light. It's always mutually serving. They were shining a light on the very shadows that you needed to own. These are not shadows you need to avoid or run from. These are not shameful. These are things that needed to be integrated within you and fully owned. This is why when I talk with clients in one of my programs, it's fully about owning your gift. And your gift is not what you think it is. Your gift is often something that you have been shamed for in the past. And so fully owning your gift. And it was mutually beneficial because simultaneously you activated something within, because you shined a light on where they were playing small, where they were not willing to be assertive, where they are not willing to speak their truth, where they are not willing to lead from authenticity, or where they were wearing a false mask. And so all of these exchanges over the years and decades have been always, like it always is, mutually beneficial, because we are all mirrors here for each other, shining a light for us to come home to ourself, our true self, our authentic self. And this is what you will be leading with in 2025. So I hope this message landed with whoever was supposed to receive it. And I'm getting full body chills right now. This is so powerful of a message for those that are meant to receive this message. You know who you are. Full body chills right now. Buckle up is what's coming through. Buckle up, get ready. You're prepared, you're ready. You can handle anything that you're moving into. God is in control. God is in the driver's seat. God is placing you everywhere He needs your light. And He's been preparing you this whole time. You are one with the divine source within you. You are co-creating this experience with the ultimate creator. There are no accidents. You will be placed exactly where you need to be. Trust this, know this. You are divinely guided. You are divinely protected. Stay anchored in this truth. Stay anchored and embodied in your divinity in the present moment. Don't buy into the narratives. Don't slip into the muckiness. It's not your job. It's not your job. Your job is to anchor in the light. Your job is to build new earth. Your job is to see through the illusion with the spiritual vision that you've prayed for, that you've cultivated, and that you have. This is a gift. Everybody has their own gift. Everybody has their own magic, their own story, their own message, their own art, their own sacred medicine that they are here to share. And one of your gifts is true spiritual vision. You are a strong, powerful leader. You can call a spade a spade. You can cut through the bullshit. You have a healthy sort of discernment. You see where things are rooted in falsehood. You can see through people's masks. You are here to shine your light and maybe shake shit up a little bit. You know, you have no problem rocking the boat. You are bulletproof. You are unbothered moving forward into this next phase because you have anchored a deep connection with the divine source within you and a resiliency in order to withstand anything that comes your way. And this message is about being able to trust in this, know this, and move forward fully surrendered to the divine orchestration of where you're being guided and called, and have fun with it. Because the years and the decades of the strife and the struggle, that has all served you, but it's not where you're moving towards. It's not what you're moving towards. It's not what you're moving into. It's not what you're embodying now. I know if you're resonating this, you're at a place of deep faith and trust. Moving forward, it's time to welcome in a whole new paradigm. Again, you are the front runner. You are the trailblazer. You are the leader. Everything that you've gone through has prepared you for this moment, which is why God was never allowing you to get comfortable, and why it's always felt like one rebirth after another that you have gone through, which most people don't even know about because you've done all of this in solitude and in silence behind the scenes, all of this. And it's all been preparing you for where you are at right now. And it is not it's not part of what you're moving into. So expect miracles moving forward. Expect to be wowed. Expect to be mind blown with what is beginning to roll into your experience. You are abundantly, divinely provided for and supported on this journey, and initiation complete. You are ready. So I hope this message, I'm going to end it here. I hope this message finds you well. If you were meant to hear this message and it really resonated with you, I would love to hear from you in the comments. And until next time, namaste.